What are some things you have to ask your clients before starting a translation job? This and more in this week's Q&A, coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. Thanks for coming back to the channel once again. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for another Q&A on the channel. As you know, every second Q&A I do live. The last one was live, so this one is pre-recorded. If you want to be included in the next one, make sure to ask your questions down below. I always prioritize the ones under the Q&A videos. And then if I don't have enough, I also take a few from other videos. I think I prepared 6 questions today, so let's hop right into it. The first question comes from Youssef. Hello, Adrian. I was wondering, between having a language major and a translation major, which one do you think is the better choice? Thanks for the question. Honestly, a very good question. A lot of people find themselves, deciding what major they should go to, what university they should go to. I think major and minor is a US thing, right? Here, you just in Europe and in the rest of the world, I think you just decide on your subject of study. It depends a bit on your long-term goal, right? If you already know you definitely want to get into translation or the language industry, it makes sense to go with a translation degree because you just have more direct access to the industry. You will learn how to subtitle, you will learn how to do proper research, how to use cut tools. You will get practical tips about the industry if it's a good university program, right? So if you're already kind of, or let's say if you know more than 50% that you want to go into translation, I would suggest to go for a translation degree. If you're unsure, if you like things more like going the diplomatic route, maybe language teaching, something linguistics, if you want to do more. If you want to stay in the academic field and go for a master's and a PhD, then definitely study languages or linguistics because it gives you a broader overview of the whole topic. And one doesn't exclude the other, right? After a language degree, you can still do a specialized translation training, for example, and combine the two. But that would be my suggestion. Next question is from Cassianef de Vargas. Hi, I'm Cassian from Brazil. What are the basic things I need to ask before accepting a translation offer? I'm just starting out, still studying, volunteering, and trying to prospect. But I have received some emails of Indian agencies offering jobs, and I'm kind of afraid because I have heard that there are a lot of scams. I don't know how to identify it. Great question. Thank you very much, Cassian. Now, how you can identify a scam? Now, it depends a bit what you mean by scam. If you mean by scam a job that is completely not even a real job and they will just rip you off, then I think these are relatively easy to identify nowadays. But if you speak of a job that just completely pays peanuts and undervalues your work and pays like 0.0001 cents, then is that a scam? Yes, you're scamming the work of a trained translator, but in the end, it's still a valid job, right? They pay something for your work, so it's tough to call that a scam, but of course it's horrible business practice and you should never do it. So how you can identify a scam? There are a couple of red flags that definitely should catch your attention. For example, if there is not enough details, if it's a very vague job offer, if the grammar is bad, if the person reaching out to you is not willing to give you more information. If it comes from like a Hotmail or a Gmail address, that's usually a red flag as well. If they ask you to do a free test that is like several pages long, more than 300 words, that's not acceptable. If they pressure you, if they say, please respond, like if they pressure you on time, that's definitely a no-go. And often they promise way too much, right? They say, oh, we will pay you $2,000 for 2 pages of work, and that's fishy. So these things you have to watch out for. What things to ask in a proper job offer, like what you should, when you get asked to do a job, things you need to know is the languages, so the language pairs, not only the languages, but also the variants, right? If you're Brazilian, so you're most likely translating into Portuguese, so make sure you know whether it's for Brazil or for Portugal. You need to know the exact word count. You need to know the exact deadline. You need to have a way to ask questions. So ask what's the question answer feedback loop. You need to know exactly what's the price and the payment terms. When do you get paid? You need to know if you have to sign a contract, an NDA. Like if it's a first client, I would make sure to ask for a prepayment so you don't get scammed. And you need to definitely ask if there is reference files, if there is a glossary, if there is a TM, if there is a website you can refer to. So you are also safe for yourself, right? You need to know where you can do your research, what is okay and what is not. Ask if it's a translation, a transcreation, an editing, a post-editing, a review, what is actually expected of you. These are all things you need to know, you need to ask before you start. And if you're a Probst member, I would always suggest to go to the Blue Board and check for the name of the agency, if it's an agency, and see how many stars they have. If they don't have 4 stars on Probst, it's a bit sketchy. So I would only go for agencies or clients that have more than 4 stars on the Blue Board. Next up comes a question from Voyageur. She has been very supportive of the channel lately. Thank you so much. You mentioned the value of TMs from the perspective of consistency and negotiations, and it brought a question to mind. Do you create TMs specifically for your repeat clients, or do you make them based on topics that any client might ask for translations on? Great question. I do both. For my repeat clients, I do have TM specifically for that client that I attach to every project that I work with. So it gets populated with every time I work for them. That's a great asset that I have then later in negotiations, exactly as you mentioned, right? Because I'm the expert, I have all their data aggregated. So the translations are the most consistent if they give them to me. But then simultaneously, I also have subject matter, like topic-based TMs. They run parallel. You can add several TMs to a job. So this one, if it's a job about skiing, no matter who the client is, I always add my winter sports glossary to that, right? So TM, sorry, not glossary, TM to that. So at the same time, I can build up my databases for both topic-based and client-based resources. I definitely recommend that, whether you use it in the future or not. It's just data is currency, right? Whatever you can aggregate on your own that is proprietary to you, make sure to do it. Next question is from azonixx7y. Hey Adrian, I speak both English and Arabic and would like to know what other language could fit with this combination. Is the translation career growing in demand or being left behind because of the growth of AI, writing careers and jobs? Finally, do I need to have a main degree in translating, or is it enough to take a good course in it? And thank you. Thank you very much for the question. So, which language combination could fit with English and Arabic? So first of all, I'm always proposing you to learn a language that you actually enjoy learning, because it's so hard to get a language to working level, right? So if you just base it on what would be best for you and not on what you actually enjoy and are good at, that's always a bit tricky, right? So this question, take it with a grain of salt. Immediately what comes to mind for me is French, right? English and Arabic. So French is spoken in a lot of North African countries. It's a UN language. It's spoken in international discourse all around the world. So English, Arabic, and French would be a very nice triangle combination, I think, but only if you already have some basic French knowledge, because bringing French up to speed so you can actually work with it is super hard, and it takes years of dedicated learning. So, but that would be my answer. About the second question, I just made a video last week, so make sure to watch it. I'm going to link it here, all about the growth of AI, the future of translation. I do think it has a career, it has a future, the translation career, but it will be very different, and it will be a career for less people, I think. So that's the thing, like the people that are already established, they have a huge advantage to people that are entering the industry freshly, right? So I feel like the new graduates have to reinvent themselves and be creative, maybe come up with new job titles, and you should really check out this video. That's at the moment, that's all I can say. For me, I definitely see a career for myself in the future, but I'm also working on adapting, right? And being more proactive, being more aware of the changes that are coming our way. And that leads kind of into the third question that you have. I definitely recommend you to get a main degree in translating, because it just sets you apart from the rest, right? So there will be so many people trying to make a living from home with translation, with language services, and not all of them will be needed. Maybe 20%, 25% will be needed. So if you can have a foundation with a degree, I would definitely recommend that. And it's not to say that you can't make it with experience in another job and then do a translation degree and focus very highly specialized on this area. That's another option. But if I had to choose between the two, I would go for the degree, yes. I just checked the time. We're good on time. We have one more question from Marshall Maniac. I'm curious what I can charge in this service segment. This was a comment under my subtitling video. I usually teach Japanese, but I had a translation check assignment for subtitles last year and then also spotted the subtitles afterwards. Any insight from anyone, including Adrian? Okay, this was a question for the whole community. Thanks so much, Marshall Maniac. So charging subtitling is super hard because it depends on so many things, right? And that's really something that kind of leads back into a question we had before with how much you should ask before starting an assignment. With subtitling, it's even more important because there are so many things that could be your thing, like your task, but they don't necessarily have to be, and that affects the how you charge it massively, right? So first of all, usually subtitles are charged by video minute, and that can be confusing because someone would maybe offers you, like, let's say €7 or $7 per video minute. What does that mean, right? You might be confused. You might think, okay, $7 per minute, that's a great rate, right? I calculate that by times 60, 7 times 60, that's, I don't know, what is that? Something in like the 400s probably per hour. That's an amazing deal, right? That's not how it works, right? Video minute is not equal to working minute. So per hour, depending on the service that you have to do, if you have to do the complete package, transcribing, translating, the subtitle spotting, time code setting, and then rewatching it again, you can do maybe 4 to 5 video minutes per hour, right? So keep that in mind. It depends what you have to do. If you only have to do the subtitle spotting, if you only have to do revision, only translation, it gets faster and faster. So it depends. You really have to ask, what is the task at hand? If they just send you a video and you have to do the complete thing, then you first have to transcribe it. You have to basically watch through the whole video and transcribe it manually. Or if they have a tool, it gets a bit faster, but it still takes a lot of time. Then you do the translation. That's the biggest part, of course. And then you do the subtitle spotting. So you split them up into the subtitle pieces and you put them in a subtitling tool. And you adjust the time codes. Memory card was full, sorry about that. So yes, that's the whole process. And from that, you can do roughly 4 to 5 minutes. Let's calculate 5 video minutes per hour. So what you then need to do is think to yourself what you want to charge by the hour and then divide it by 5. And then you have your video minute price. Now, probably this will be too much for some clients because, they really try to push the price down. So if you see offers like $1, $2, $3 per video minute, stay away from that because that's just not profitable. Try to aim for much higher. Let's go for like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 upwards per video minute. And we are talking about something more substantial. But then, of course, it can happen that the video is already pre-translated or someone did it already and you just need to review the subtitles, adjust the time codes a bit, and then you're much faster. Then you can do up to 12, 13 video minutes per hour. So as you can see, it depends on the project very, very much. I hope this was useful. Thanks for asking the questions. Make sure to scroll down, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. I think there are 2 more videos left until the summer break. I think so, yeah. The 7th of July will be the season roundup. And then I will take a month off, enjoy the sun, and then be back in August. Let me know what you would like to see in the new season already now in the comments, so I can already plan. I have some plans for the next season to make the channel engaging and fun again. Thanks for being here. I see you next Monday with the next one. Bye bye.